Alright, welcome everyone to a brand new show. We're gonna be watching Sangatsu no Lion today. So, before we begin, I have to clarify and I have to clear some things up first. So, I have actually seen the first 3 episodes of Sangatsu no Lion. So what happened was, and this is gonna be a bit of history for the channel. So what happened was, I actually had a reaction channel before this. This is actually my second reaction channel. My first reaction channel was like barely getting any views and it's only like 20 subs before YouTube deletes it for some reason. I don't know. But basically one of the first few shows that I've actually recorded and watched on that channel is Sangatsu no Lion. I made it up to episode 3, and then around that time YouTube just decided to delete the channel without any warning whatsoever. And technically speaking, I can actually get that channel back. However, at the time I don't know what to do, so I just dealt with it. Those footage are gone, and I never really watched the show since. And that was like over a year ago. So, again, just being honest and just to clarify, I know a few things that is going to happen in the first 3 episodes, but after that, I'm gonna be completely blind. So, what are the things that I do know? I know the main protagonist is called Rei. I know he is a shogi player, and damn it, I forgot the names of the characters, but the cast of female supporting characters, I remember really liking them a lot. And the show itself has a lot of very interesting thematic elements that I am actually more excited to discuss other than to just react. So this is going to be a very information heavy show. This is going to be a very thematically driven show, and from my understanding this is also a very character driven show. So I'm expecting the discussion portion for these videos to be substantially long. Hopefully I can actually keep up. So those are the things that I do know about the show. Other than that, from a production side of things, I do know it is produced by Studio Shaft. Most of the people who are working on this show worked on the Monogatari series. The only person on the show that I don't know about is actually the music composer. But I do remember one song in the first episode, which is an insert song that kind of blew me away when I first watched it. So I'm kind of excited to listen to that again once we actually watch this show again. But yeah. So, with that being said, I guess let's just watch the episode. Win. Black and white. Eyes. The state of mind. There's our main protagonist. Falling down to the abyss of the ocean, classic. Mostly in black and white, muted, desaturated. I'm gonna focus more on the visuals first, and then I'm gonna go back and look at the lyrics. Loss, trying to find his way. Thorns, being held back. If I remember correctly, those are his family members. Family, quote unquote. Showing his glasses. Chapter 1, Kiriyama Rei. Beautifully animated. I remember this. Incredible. Incredible piece of animation. Being belittled. Traumatic experience from the past. If you see me looking down, then that's me writing notes. All alone. Black and white. All white. The his room. And a shogi right in the middle. Love that camera effect. Kind of defocusing and focusing again as he opens the door, the window, as the light shines in to the camera. Very Monogatari-esque in terms of the editing, the fast cuts. Lifeless, dead eyes. I'm gonna talk about his room later on in the discussion because, from a design point of view, there's significance to that because it's showing his state of mind being empty. And here's the song that I mentioned before. Beautiful. And it's in French too. I was sealed in grief, I'm afraid, even in my home. Whoa. And he's up there in the posters. Everyday life. Shh. It's a normal routine for him, but deep down, it's very mundane, very it's like a repetitive nature, right? Doing this over and over and over again. If somebody asks, no, I don't know anything about shogi, but I do know about chess. Love the way they design his eyes. Beautifully done. Trying to start a conversation. Unresponsive. Just play the game. Love how they're just letting the music tell the scene. No dialogue whatsoever. And how slow it is. Every hand movement. We haven't had a single dialogue from him. Love how they're cutting this. Beautiful presentation. There's nothing. And how the time has passed. Unresponsive once again. Ayumu and Kyoko. I'm not here to talk, I'm just here to play. You're nobody to me. And if I remember correctly, that is his adoptive father? Ah, the first words. That was a lie. Ooh. Nice use of the butterfly moving around while the background is cutting. Ah, the pianos. A text message from Hinata. Refuses, but immediately gets called back. Sangatsu. Love the background art. Comes from the dark into the light. and how lively the light is. Oh my god. Oh, how much their lives contrast with each other. Finally smiles. He has not smiled this entire episode. It's so frenetic. It's so chaotic. I love it. Why not? Mom and grandma has passed away. Delicious. Whoa. The father and son relationship. Interesting how they're. What's the word I'm looking for? Um, Beating his father in Shogi is akin to a person actually killing a person. At least that's how Rei is feeling, because this is the emotion that he is suppressing, especially after watching the news. The cat. Showing care and attention. Doesn't know how to fully respond to it. He won. I find it very fascinating that we start the show with him actually winning. But him winning achieves nothing, because that's not the goal. Oyasumi. Tears. Ah, the music is amazing. Amazing at hammering down the proper emotion to feel. Good night. Once again showing the depths of the ocean. Showing that he is under the ocean or like, yeah, under the ocean can be attributed to having a lot of pressure on him. Oh my god. Oh my god. The animation there was so good. When you just woke up and then suddenly people go, do this, do that, and you just do it without thinking. Yeah, basically. So much positivity. That was meta. So chaotic. It's probably too fast for him to actually process, so he just goes along with it. And now that it's gone, uh, sits in the back. Of course. Sensei? Hayashida. Monthly payment. Too many to count. Is this all? That's the thing that he is concerned about. Oh my god. Hurry up and make some friends. Ah, the big 7-0. So Meiji is the name of the grandfather. That's sweet. Ah, a parting gift. If you want to be happy with your life, just come visit us. Back to the desaturated color. Oh my god, this guy. I remember you. Shit, that was the end of the episode. Getting slowly drowned in water. Struggling to move forward. Towards the light. Towards them. And the muted colors starts to light up. A young Rei. Wow. An incredible first episode. Incredible. The atmosphere, the music, editing, beautifully done. Again, like I said, I have seen the first 3 episodes about a year ago, so I know what to expect. But there's a lot of things that I guess I never truly picked up on when I first watched. So I'm really excited and I'm really glad that I am rewatching this right now, because there's a lot to talk about. Obviously, there's Rei, and then there's his past, and then there's all of the other stuff as well. But overall, in terms of an episode, I would say this is fantastic. It is beautifully done. The direction was stellar, and overall, it sets the mood perfectly. This is how you set up a mood for your entire show. Have the first episode basically showcase, hey, this is the type of show we're trying to dive deep into. It's a mostly character-driven narrative. It's a character-driven story, and I feel like the show, at least this first episode, has also done a excellent job at visual storytelling, where the visuals themselves tell the story and not through dialogue whatsoever. There's plenty of moments here where it's nothing but just the visuals and the accompanying music, and it's beautiful. The atmosphere, once again, like I mentioned, well crafted. Let's actually go back to the beginning and let's discuss this episode scene by scene, shall we? So, we start the episode with this. Black and white. Or as I would like to call it, monotonous. And this is tying directly towards Rei Kiriyama and his character. So, black and white only sees an objective point of view, I would say. Like, there's no middle ground, it's just good or bad, right and wrong, black and white. But that's pretty much it. Monotonous. There's no color in his world. And this is Rei Kiriyama that we are seeing right now. The scene transitions again to what I would assume. At first I thought they were a flock of birds, but now that I'm looking at it, it's water. These are reflections. The sea, the ocean, these are the waves. Yeah, and it's getting faster and faster and faster. And then the first thing that we see that has color is the sky, but unfortunately Rei Kiriyama himself is black. His inner self is black. Colorless, I would say, not an inner darkness. And that is something that we will explore further on within the show. And I'm really excited to explore that. So we then continue on with the opening, which I have rewatched again before I actually do this discussion portion. But basically the opening, from what I could gather, is basically the same thing that I was mentioning when I was first watching it, in the reaction, in which is the inner workings of Rei Kiriyama himself as a character. Him being dragged down into the ocean, into the depths of the sea, being at the very bottom of the ocean. Obviously there's a lot of pressure. And it's all dark. There's darkness in the ocean. There's a couple of doors, right? And these doors would lead to light. The problem is, can Rei Kiriyama reach that light? That is the question. The opening then continues on with this section where I commented that he got stuck in thorns, right? As if there's something holding him back. He wants to continue, he wants to move on, he wants to move forward, but he can't. Something is holding him back, and it's going to be a painful experience if he wants to continue, because he needs to rip those thorns out, right? It is painful, but in doing so, you can move on. And that's the problem with Rei Kiriyama. He is currently living in the past, and I feel like that is very evident, especially with his interaction with his quote-unquote father, which, again, from my memory and from what I remember from watching the first 3 episodes, Rei is a adoptive child, and his father was somebody who took him in as a and teaches him how to play shogi. I apologize if this is your first time watching March Comes In Like a Lion and I kind of spoiled it for you. But I'm just assuming people who are watching this reaction right now are people who have seen March Comes In Like a Lion. So I apologize if this is your first time watching March Comes In Like a Lion. Which, honestly, why are you watching this? Why? I'm not telling you to go away, by the way. I'm sorry, I got carried away. Moving on. So, a couple of visual images in the opening that I find really interesting, but I'm not going to be talking about it even further because, again, I don't have much context. We know that this is his family, quote unquote. And here we see him in the light, and then, yeah, he grabs somebody's hand. Whose hand is this? We don't know yet. But then, we end the opening with his glasses. And I guess I'm just skipping through a discussion towards the end of the episode, which is when they, what was her name again? Hina, was it? When Hina took off his glasses. Let me see if I can find that specific, okay, here, Hina says I should take his glasses off, and she did. And what's underneath it? Tears, crying, pain. I'm just gonna talk about the glasses for now because I want to have a specific portion dedicated to Rei, but the glasses here, in my interpretation, represents a mask. Because the glasses covers the true self, his true eyes, his true vision. I don't know the importance or the significance of those specific glasses, right? Because this is an object, and sometimes objects can have history in them, a past, right? Like you look at an object like this is a mechanical pencil, you know. It's just a pencil. It's just a mechanical pencil, but I know there's history behind this mechanical pencil. I know that I bought this pencil for a specific purpose, right? So again, I may be writing, looking deep into this. Maybe I'm being too analytical. Nothing wrong with that. But my interpretation is that these are glasses that represent, I guess, a barrier, a wall, a mask, as I said, to hide his true feelings, his true feelings, his honesty, right? And obviously they're not gonna have like shades, like sunglasses. I mean, come on, we can't see his eyes, but it works either way. And with the glasses, again, being taken off, we finally see his true self inside, and his true self inside is in absolute pain. Pain. He needs to move on. He needs to move on. Unfortunately, that's gonna be a long journey because we have 2 seasons of this, and from my understanding, is it a manga adaptation? The original source material, there's still a lot of ways to go. Like the 2 seasons, as far as I'm concerning, as far as I know, didn't really cover the entire manga. So yeah, this is gonna be a long journey. Because self-healing isn't something that could happen fast. No, it takes time. It takes time, and you can't do it alone. You need other people. And speaking of other people, this bitch, I don't remember correctly again, but I feel like, again, if I remember correctly, this girl is somebody close to Rei. I mean, yeah, obviously he is remembering this specific memory, but if memory does correct me, she is one of his close siblings or cousins. somebody who has a familial tie to Rei. Because I don't know, was it episode 2 or episode 3 where they kind of further discuss his past shogi life with his family. Again, I'm not gonna dive deeper into that because I forgot most of it, and that's a topic for my episode 2 and 3 reactions. But what does she say? What a weird name, Rei Kiriyama. Ugh. But it suits you. I wonder what the significance of Zero. No, she was referring to Zero. Zero, what a weird name. I want to listen to this in Japanese. Yeah, literally says zero. But I wonder why. What's the significance? This animation is beautiful. Water flowing down, spiraling, out of control. Not really out of control. Because it is controlled, it's going down. Interesting. But again, this is, if we're talking about metaphorical and symbolically, we can attribute, because they show a lot of water and how much that kind of ties in with Rei's character, because we see this a lot. Rei looking at the river, Rei drinking, and the many cuts of going back and forth between Rei and his drinks. And as I mentioned before, Rei being at the bottom of the ocean, being in the depths of despair. I don't know, I'm kind of seeing Rei himself here as the water kind of being flushed down, right? Being belittled, being basically thrown away, right? As I don't want to say trash, but that's kind of it. Zero, what a weird name. Also, she's wearing a necklace with a cross. Interesting. I wonder if that's just a stylistic choice for the character design, or this is saying that she is a very religious person. Because Japan loves to use like religious symbolism that, you know, absolutely has no contribution to the story whatsoever, like Evangelion. Like, they just look cool. But anyways, moving on. What a weird name. But it suits you. I wonder why. It suits you, doesn't it? I wonder why. Zero ambition? Who knows? I guess I'll just have to wait until they explore this version. Explore this memory further. But again, showing black and white muted colors. And then this beautiful, beautiful animation sequence. You don't have a home, you don't have a family, 0, 0, 0. You don't go to school. You don't have any friends. And Rei looks at her. He looks at her, and she looks at Rei again. There's no place for you in this world. It's a past filled with trauma. And I'm gonna say it, abuse. Which is why Rei is a reclusive person today, right? Makes sense why this is the case. Love this sequence again. Black and white, showing his inner workings of his minds, but it's so frantic, it's so chaotic. It's chaos, but it's only in black and white. Which means, even though it is chaotic, He is focused on it. If this is colorful, then that means there's a lot of things going on in his mind right now, right? If this is colorful, if there's like so many colors, red, green, blue, purple, whatever, colors of the rainbow, that is true chaos. That is when there is no cohesion whatsoever. There's no harmony. But since we are in black and white, even when it is, when it looks chaotic, right, frantic, there's still some sense of order to it. Rei Kiriyama is somebody who is Rei Kiriyama is somebody who definitely has a lot of mental issue right now. Not saying that he does, but I'm just saying from a mental perspective, the way I see it, Rei definitely has a lot of feelings that he is repressing right now, that he is like holding back. And in my opinion, he has control of that, because we see it throughout this entire episode. From when he wakes up, from when he plays shogi and win, there's a lot of emotion inside of him, but he doesn't let it out. He has that under control, that suppressed, monotonous feeling and emotion. And it's only after he meets the three sisters, that's when color comes in. And fortunately for Rei, they are able to kind of bleed in their colorful and over the top but wonderful way of life into him. So when he does show emotion, when he does have feelings, it's because of them. Not because of his past, but it's because of them, right? And we'll get to that later, but I just want to say, like, the way they are creating this image right now, beautifully done. Again, that's my interpretation. And if you guys have any different interpretation, let me know in the comments. Would love to read them. There's no place for you in this world, says the girl. Cuts to black. And then continues on with water drowning at the bottom of the sea, the ocean, the river, whatever you want to call it. But he is in darkness, unable to breathe, wakes up. Cut off the water again. And here I mentioned in the reaction about Rei's room and the design of the room, and I kind of want to talk about it just a bit. I love it because of how simplistic and, again, just straight up monotonous it is. There's a couple of things that I have learned in the past, especially when it comes to like interior design for creating movies. So when you watch like a movie, right? When you watch like a movie or a TV show, the interior and exterior design of those movies or shows matters. It's not just random junk being placed all over. No. There's reason to it. There's a reason why a certain room is painted in a certain color. There's a reason why certain knickknacks, certain types of furniture is in those rooms, those interiors. All of them are designed to create a certain mood. So when you have like a happy-go-lucky family person and you go to their room, obviously that room is going to be colorful, it's going to be bright, but the colors themselves should also represent those characters. Let's say somebody who is envious, their room color would be green or purple. Somebody who is a romantic, or somebody who, or a room specifically designed for people to make love, usually red, right? There's a reason why these rooms have specific colors, and there's a reason why specific objects, props if you will, are placed there, because those add more to the immersion, the atmosphere, and the overall mood that the show or the movie want to portray to the audience just from a visual perspective alone. So if you want to make the audience feel uncomfortable or dirty or just straight up disgusted, then you're gonna have to design a room where there's gonna be a lot of dust, there's a lot of broken shit, cobwebs everywhere. The color is mostly gonna be brown, right? Because it's a color that disgusts people mostly, like a brown greenish tone, or as I like to call it, the color tone that Skyrim uses, because it is a bad color tone. Not to shit on Skyrim, by the way, it's great. It's a great game. But don't lie to me. We all use mods in that game because we want to make the game more colorful, because the game's vanilla color set isn't appetizing. And this is how I feel with Rei Kiriyama's house. His room is monotonous, only white, and the black, and the only color is like the floor, which is mostly brownish black. We only see an air conditioner, we only see a wardrobe, a couple of boxes, and then the his mattress. Is it even a mattress? What's the name again? A mat in the floor where he sleeps. And on his left, just a bunch of ramen cups and a water bottle. And a shogi plate, and a shogi set piece. And that's pretty much it. Monotonous, desaturated, empty, loneliness. All of these emotions perfectly encaptures Rei Kiriyama as a character, all shown just from the simple design of his interior room. And as we move on further, he dresses up, he leaves, and again, we see, once again, just white. White. Bit of black, but again, it's monotonous. There's no actual color here. It's just black and white, just like the state of his mind. Emptiness. And I'm kind of hoping that as the series progresses, this room would get a lot more colorful. I'm kind of hoping that would happen. It doesn't need to. Rei could just move out and live with the sisters, and that'll be it. But I would love to see if they decided to decorate his room, his place right now, to be a place that is more colorful, because it can kind of showcase character progression, right? Beautiful set design. And he leaves. He walks out. The world around him, again, kind of overblowing the light purposefully. It's to make everything feels desaturated. Then we get this beautiful song as well. I have rewatch this scene again, so I'm not gonna be playing it again because I don't want to get copyright. But let's look at the lyrics once again. I close my eyes to calm myself down. Under the moonlight, how I love this place, showing compassion. But I must leave at once. But you love this place, why would you leave it? I may have understood. I was sealed in grief. In fact, I'm afraid even in my home. Again, showcasing that, hey, yeah, this entire city is beautiful. That much is true. But it's suffocating to me. And that may not necessarily be true in a present tense. Because once again, like I mentioned, Rei Kiriyama is a person living in the past. He needs to move on. He needs to see that the world is colorful and full of light, unlike the darkness that is his past. The song continues, how sad every day was. I'm filled with love, but I had tears in my eyes. Showing the train moving directly into the camera and then cutting directly to Rei, kind of wanting to, kind of getting hit by the light, as in the train. Rei Kiriyama is a depressed character. These are feelings of somebody who is depressed, and it is sad. But it is what it is. He needs help right now. And those sisters are the best help that he can have right now. And as this is happening, the lyric says, but now I can change the murky colors of my life. How far should I keep swimming? How far do I need to reach that? How much suffering do I have to endure? How much suffering do I have to go? How long until it finally stops raining? I just want it to end. These are feelings of somebody who is depressed once again. It's true. It's the feeling of how do I put this? It's the feeling of, why do I have to keep dealing with what I am currently dealing with right now? I don't want this. I don't want all of this. I don't want any of this. Why am I forced to deal with this? I want out. I want to get away from here. I want to get out. But you can't. The circumstances prevents you from doing so. And that wall, that prevention is what's driving your depression further and further away. The lyrics basically is basically saying that Rei Kiriyama sees the light. He knows which direction that he needs to go. I feel like Rei Kiriyama is aware of this, but unfortunately it feels like he has tried to reach the light before. He tried, but he failed. Multiple times, it seems. Hence why the thorns in the opening, right? He wants to reach forward. But he was held back. And the thing that is holding him back, at least for now, from my interpretation, is himself. He is his biggest enemy right now, not his father, not his family. They are a big factor, don't get me wrong. But it's also one's personal responsibility to say, I gotta move on. They may not move on, but you can. The problem is, Rei is not moving on. The lyrics continue. I don't know how to walk, even when I'm wet. Looking for my nest in this dark city, trying to find his own personal place in the world. Again, why am I here? Like, what's my purpose? I am contributing nothing to this world. Why am I here? Right? Those kinds of feelings, right? Those kind of dark feelings. But I see a giant rainbow. Hope. A glimmer of hope. Colorful. Colorfulness that can paint his black and white point of view. But it is so far away though. It's hard. It's hard to reach that. I don't want to suffer. I'm already suffering. Why do I have to suffer more if I want to reach happiness? Right? That is the spiral of the spiral of depression. Because you want to get out. You want to get out of it, but you can't. Because each and every time you try to get out, it seems like it just gets worse. And the problem is, you can't do it alone. You have to have somebody else to help you out. I think that's a wonderful message that the show is trying to show and portray right now. But we move on. We're only 5 minutes in. Shit, we're only 5 minutes in. It's already an hour long. Shit. But we're 5 minutes in. So, Rei Kiriyama finally enters the Shogi house, place, palace, tournament, whatever this place is. Comes in, shows the empty, what's the correct word for this? The Shogi board. Once again, showing the water, right? That he bought. The calm mind is the way. And so far we haven't had a single dialogue from him. No quotes whatsoever. We're only hearing like other people's like thoughts and opinions and words, not his. And as he waits alone, his opponent arrives. A father figure. How have you been, Rei? Again, I don't know how their relationship was before in the past and how it got this worse. But here you can see that his opponent, this person, this father figure, if you will, is definitely trying to establish communication, right? He wants to talk. He wants to converse. And Rei doesn't say a word. No response. Completely ignores him. Once again, he has moved on, in my opinion. He has moved on. No hard feelings. At least from the way they are interacting right now. No hard feelings from him. How's it been, Rei? The weather seems nice, right? Eh? Sure is odd, huh? No response from Rei. Still in the past. Looks down. Doesn't want to acknowledge him at all. How sad is that? Here we get a glimpse of everybody, including Rei and him. We see Rei in a shogi tournament. And we kind of cut back and forth between them as this tournament goes on. What am I saying? Is the weather really all I can think of talking right now? And here it is. The Children's Shogi Tournament. Rei won. It seems he has the big trophy, right? But these kids don't. This girl on the far left, I think, is the person that we saw in the beginning of the episode. The one with the necklace, the cross necklace, and saying 0 and whatever. You don't have a home, you don't have a family, you don't have friends, you don't go to school and whatever. The one in the middle, I'm not so sure of. And from what I remember, because I remember them talking about this whole situation in episode 2 or 3, but between the 2 episodes, that's for sure, because I haven't watched episode 4 yet. But in episode 2 and 3, they definitely talk about how, again, I may be misremembering, but I think it's because of jealousy, right? Because he won, and I feel like he isn't really like an actual member of the family, and they got pissed at him for actually being good. And it's one thing to be looked down upon for not being good at something, but it is worse when you're being looked down upon for something that you actually know stuff, something that you are actually passionate about. That is way worse, in my opinion, than somebody belittling other people who may not have talent, you know, because when people say like, oh, you don't have talent, you can't do this and that, but you know, when they actually don't, I mean it's still fucked up. It's still a bad thing to do. Don't do that. But it's way more hurtful if you're being talked down to for something that you genuinely know and you genuinely love and you're genuinely talented at. That is some discouraging shit. And to talk to that to a little kid, yeah, that would bring up the trauma. That's for sure. But anyways, let us begin. They have their tournament. Love how this scene is directed. Just the music playing in the back and just showing their hands kind of moving. You know, total concentration. And the way they animate their hands slowly and methodically kind of showcase how much they actually care for Shogi and how much, you know, this means to them. Just careful to attention when it comes to like moving the pieces. And I really enjoyed that small little subtle detail that the animators put. We see everybody else working. We see everybody else competing with one another. Showcasing the water again. Time's ticking, tick tock, tick tock. We see a glimpse of the past. Rei getting excited. Kiriyama Rei. Right here. The final 2. Cuts again. And here, like I said, the jealousy. Oh, I won. But at what cost? Look, I made it to the top. But why are you abandoning me? Did I do something wrong? Are you not proud of me? Am I not worth something for you? That look of anger. You did this. This is your fault. Why did you win? left alone. There's nothing. Black and white once again. There's nothing. There's nothing you can do. Checkmate. You lost. And yet he still persists. Are you eating properly? Again, showing affection, showing care. But how much is genuine, I ask? We don't know. Because we're only seeing him through Rei's perspective, as somebody who walks away from him. But from his action, from his demeanor, I think he's pretty genuine about it. I think it's more so the siblings, the children are the one who hates Rei the most. Ayumu and Kyoko are worried about you too. Now I know for sure this is a lie. And he's obviously just saying this, to make him feel better. And he knows it. Rei knows it. They bow down. The match is over. He left. And Rei is once again alone. That's a lie. The first words he said this entire show, 9 minutes in, that's a lie. And from his emotion that we are seeing right now, he is definitely like holding back on it. He was holding back this emotion throughout that entire match. He won, but when it's all said and done, yeah, sadness. What's the point, right? What's the point of playing shogi all the time? There's no reason for it, right? A depressive state. I mentioned this in the reaction. I love how they use the butterfly. The butterfly is in a single overlay, like in a single layer. It's just minding its own business. But then they kind of change the background over and over and over again. The butterfly remains the same. It's the same flight pattern, but it's kind of a cool way to, I guess, showcase like scene and setting changes. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Rei's alone. A message from Hinata. Hey, we're gonna have curry. Come by. Let's have some fun. He doesn't want to. He was about to decline, right? Feeling under the weather. Nope. Nope. You are not allowed to be sad. You are gonna come here and you're gonna eat curry with us and you're gonna have some fun. We're gonna put some color in your eyes. And he accepts it. He is in the dark, traveling to the light. And how chaotically over the top the light is. The family dynamic is hilarious, it's fun, it's wholesome. Immediately the stark contrast between his world and their world. And also the fact that this dynamic, these sisters, are like a family to him. They're like a second family. They're basically taking him in, right? I mean, he doesn't want to admit it, but that's basically what is happening right now. This entire section of the story is fantastic. It's wonderful. It's fun. It's wholesome. There's a good balance between the serious stuff with the shogi shit, and then we have the wholesomeness of this part of the story. Makes up a really great balance, and it's really, really necessary for Rei as a character to live in these types of moments. Because he needs this. He needs this. Mom and grandma have sadly passed away. I forgot the name of the Japanese tradition for this, but this is very common. This is a very common thing for in Japan, where they would have offerings for the dead, right? Something to do with their spirits. Itadakimasu, thank you for the meal. And then we got this. A news report that the police found a body of a deaf person. And the story is somebody's son took away their father's life. And Rei Kiriyama attributes this to the shogi match. That's dark. That is very dark. But again, shows his state of mind, I guess. Because here it seems like he has animosity towards this father figure that he was just playing, right? But the father himself doesn't really show that animosity towards him. And the father's state of mind is like, okay, let bygones be bygones. It's in the past. How's the weather? You feeling alright? Are you eating properly? Right? Showing affection, trying to connect. But Rei is closing himself off. He doesn't want to connect. And to think his own son would beat him so easily. Although maybe he was satisfied. Are you, Rei? Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied? And that only apply if he was his real son. He was adopted. That wasn't his family, his real family. But now, at least, he has another family. And hopefully this one could actually push him into the light. This is a great sequence. I love this. Kind of showing how much emotion that he is like kind of suppressing during that shogi match. The memory is so vivid that my hand feels warm when I remember it. I wonder what it is. Why such hatred? What did he do to you? What's he hiding behind those compliments, those affection that his father was giving him? Wonder why? I wonder what. Hina notices this. What's wrong, Rei? Showing affection, showing concern, but this time, Rei answers and replies. He didn't do it with his father, but when they ask, he replies. I find that very interesting. I mean, it's not really interesting. It's obvious. It's obvious that he is more affectionate towards them than he is towards his previous family. They're fun, they're sweet, charming. They're the color that Rei much needed in his bleak life. So, he finally fell asleep. All that pressure during the day can finally let it all out. He sleeps, Hina takes off the glasses, shows the tears that we mentioned before at the start of the discussion. But they tuck him in. They care for him. They're like they're like his foster family, basically, you know. And how much they actually show care and affection towards him warms my heart. And I don't know how much Rei notices this, because obviously he doesn't, because he's still living in the past. He's not seeing the present that is being presented right now. If only you knew, Rei, if only you knew how much people love you, right? Beautiful. Beautiful. That's my name, in a small town by a big river is where I'll be living from now on. Doesn't want to move on. Want to stay in the same place, in the same spot. The next day, chapter 2. Once again, the chaos ensues. Wake up, have a safe trip. Let's see, do this, and that. Show this, and that. I have been in Rei's shoes before when it comes to this. I was asleep. I was having a great nap, a wonderful dream. All of a sudden, I got woken up by my parents saying, "Hey, can you help us do this, and that immediately?" And I was like, "Oh, what? Okay, I guess." And then I go back to sleep. But this is very real. I love it. I enjoyed it. Love the chaos. But again, is that radiating energy of pure positive energy that Rei needs, and these people are giving it to him, and that is how he is going to heal. He needs more people in his life. Friends. You don't have any friends? Then make friends. This is a journey of a person who is alone, and he must realize that he cannot face the world by himself. He cannot face his problems alone. And he has a lot of people by his side. Even this teacher, apparently, who isn't getting paid as much as Rei, which I find hilarious. Sensei Hayashida. But these sorts of interactions between Rei and everybody else, again, showing the contrast between everybody else and his old family. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. He's just a 17-year-old with worries like everyone else. I wonder what he's thinking about. Emotionless. And yet he comes back to these people every now and again. Helps them out. And here is where Rei can finally show his true self, his emotions, his feelings. No reason to be like sad and depressed and be angry and be serious about things. No, just live in the moment. Just be happy, right? You have Momo by your side. Be fucking happy, dude. But then by the end of the day, night comes, and all good things must come to an end. They part their ways and they leave. The episode ends with Rei searching for something, and that something is being held by somebody else. To be continued. Again, I have seen the second and third episode a long time ago, so I know what's gonna happen next, and I know what's gonna happen to this character. But this is where we end our episode. To be continued. The ending is also really great, once again showing how he is slowly being drowned by the water that is rising up. He sees the light. He tries to go into the light. And what is in the light? The sisters. And then his worldview, his black and white monotonous worldview, gets a sprinkle of color. Beautiful. The final shot being him looking at his past self and his present self staring at each other by the bridge. Cool. 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 And that is Sangatsu no Lion, Episode 1. Hope you guys enjoyed my reaction and my discussion. If you do, hit the like, subscribe. Early access is available on Patreon, so if you want to watch the next episode's reaction, it is available on Patreon right now. Links are all in the description below. So, once again, thank you all so much for, I guess, being on this journey for me. I know this is like only the first episode, but we have a long way to go, and I cannot wait. Cannot wait to see where this all goes. So excited for this. Really am. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all next time. Take care, guys.